Hey Dorcas friends, this is Amanda Chamberlain and I'm a volunteer at Dorcas. I work at Dorcas on Fridays from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. and I'm going to talk to you today about resumes. Your favorite thing. No. I know it's not your favorite thing because I see you every week and I know that it's not a fun project. So that's why I'm making this video, because I want to make it a little more easy for you to make a resume that's going to get the attention of an employer. So a little bit about me. I've been volunteering at Dorcas for around 5 years and I love it there. And I have a background as a career counselor. So I have my own business called Pathways Consulting, and I work with students who are trying to figure out their career plans. And I also teach workshops for Wake Tech Community College. I teach LinkedIn and resume writing, and what's the other one I teach? Mock interviews. Yes. So, and I also work as a job coach for people who have been relocated with a spouse's company. So I do resumes with them, LinkedIn interviews, the whole gamut. So, but today I want to work with you and I want to help you quickly and efficiently make a resume that's going to help get you the job that you're looking for. So I'm going to start with a screen share. So hold on for a second while I share my screen with you. Okay. So let me start the slideshow from the beginning. All right. Here we go. Okay, great. So like I said, I work at Dorcas on every Friday at 10 to 1, and I've included my email there in case you would like to email me and get some feedback on your resume, and I'm happy to do that. So let me launch right into the presentation. All right, so let's start about talking about what a resume is and is not, okay? So the first thing that you need to know and that you really need to focus on is that the resume's purpose is to convince an employer to interview you, okay? So the sole purpose is to get an interview where you can actually speak face-to-face with an employer and convince them that you're the right person for the job. What it is not is your whole life history and job history. I know a lot of you want to put everything and the kitchen sink in there, but that is not effective. I want you to think like the employer thinks. I want you to think about what they're looking for so that it's easy for them to see that you're the right person for this position. So in order to do that, you need to decide, what is this resume for? And a lot of you come into Dorcas and I ask you, okay, what are we writing this resume for? And you say, oh, everything and anything. I'll take anything. Okay, we can't write a resume based on that. So what I want you to do is to pick what is the most important priority for you. So pick one job that you want to base the resume on. And then if we need to change it for other jobs, we can do that. But we need to start with one target. You cannot use the same resume for every job you apply to. I know that stinks. I know it's no fun, but that's the reality. So if you want your job search to be effective, you need a resume that's going to attract the attention of a particular employer. So we're going to work on that. All right, so here's what people don't know about resumes. And this is very important, and that's why I'm putting this first. So when a company gets resumes online, they usually get hundreds. It's very easy for people to apply online now. So tons and tons of resumes are getting sent to companies for each job that they post. So the problem with that is they don't even have time to go through all the resumes. There's too many for one person to give all of the resumes a thorough glance, okay? So they use computerized systems called applicant tracking systems, which is just another way to say artificial intelligence, to sort out the resume so they can find the best resumes quickly and efficiently. So how the applicant tracking system works is they scan the resumes for keywords because they want to find the resumes that are most relevant to what they're looking for. So a lot of times, if there are hundreds of applicants for a position, even if you have a great resume, even if it's really good and your experience is excellent, sometimes you don't even have a person looking at it. It just gets buried by the computer, okay? So if you're applying online and you're getting crickets and it's like you're sending your resume into a black hole, that's why. So we've got to work out a way around that so you can get your resume in front of an actual person, because that's really the way that you're going to get an opportunity for an interview, all right? So how we do that is we take the job posting and we match your resume to the job posting. And I'm going to show you how to do that. But another important feature is to keep the formatting of your resume simple. You do not want to put photos, graphs, tables, any kind of fancy formatting. We need to keep it simple. Now, if you're a graphic designer, maybe I'll give you a little more leeway. If you're in a creative field, maybe a little more leeway. But it would be good to have a version. If you want something fancy, you can have one pretty version that you send to people, a direct person, and then another resume that you can send to applicant tracking systems through whatever the employer's application system is. So keep that one a simple one, okay? And I'm going to tell you a great resource that you can use called JobScan. And this is a great resource to check your resume to see if it is going to match what the employer is looking for. And I'm going to just briefly show you that. All right. Okay, so here it is. It's called JobScan. And let's see if it'll get us to try a sample. Okay, so what you do in here, let me go back. We can try it again. Okay, so you copy and paste the job description, you copy and paste your resume, and it will tell you how well you match and what's missing, okay? So here we've got a 67% match, and it's going to tell you the value skills that you're missing and how it matches the job title or doesn't, okay? So it's also gonna give you tips and check out how your headings and formattings go, okay? So it's great information. There is a cost, but you can get several scans for free. So I highly recommend that you check that out. And if you need help doing that, come in to Dorcas, and one of the volunteers, including myself, can help you figure out how to do it. Let me go back to the slideshow. Okay, so that's jobscan.co. All right, so here's your roadmap. We start with the job posting. We don't start with all your experience and everything. We're starting with the job posting, okay? So I want you to find the best job posting that you can on a job board like Indeed or Monster or whatever job board you tend to use. And I want you to copy and paste that job posting into a Word document, a Google document, whatever you use to for word processing. So I want you to copy and paste it into a new document. And what we're going to do is take a highlighter or a bold or however you want to do this and mark the keywords that you think are going to be most important to include in your resume. And I'll show you how to do this in a second. But we need to define what the keywords are. So like I said, you may have to have more than one version of your resume. So yeah, I know, that stinks. So we need to get content from your experience. And that's something that the volunteers at Dorcas and the training center can help with. I can certainly help with that. We look at the keywords and then we figure out, okay, what in your experience have you done that's going to match those keywords and best show that you are the most qualified one for the job? Okay, so let me show you a little bit about how we're going to do that. Okay, so I'm going to go off into Indeed. Okay, And I am going to look for an executive assistant position. Okay. Okay, let's try this again. All right. So let me look through here, see if we can find a good example. All right, MetLife is looking for an executive assistant. Let's check this out. Okay, so I look at, I'm going to copy and paste this information here. Okay, copy and paste it. Okay, so let's try this again. All right, we're on Indeed, and I just clicked on a position description for an executive assistant, and I highlighted the things that they're looking for, the key responsibilities, business experience, technical skills, and the things that they're most interested in. And then I'm going to go into my Google Docs. This will take just 1 second. Okay, I'm going to make a new document. Okay. All right, let's paste that information in there. Okay, let me look through here. All right, they're looking for someone who has what they call calendar management. Okay, so we're going to highlight that. Scheduling meetings. Gonna highlight that. Calendars. Okay, they want somebody who's done multiple calendars. Actually, all of this looks good. International arrangements. Okay, so travel arrangements is going to be an important thing that we want to highlight for this position. Okay, let's see what else. Reimbursements. What else? Okay, meeting organization. Okay, I'm scanning through. Producing and distributing correspondence. All right. Preparation, regular scheduled reports. Okay, they're looking for someone with a high school diploma and 5+ years of related experience. So if you have that, that's definitely, well, if you don't have it, you probably shouldn't be applied to this job. But if you do have it, that's something that we want to talk about in the resume, okay? So resourcefulness is a skill that we're looking for. Let's see, highlight that. Managing multiple engagements and navigating conflicting calendar priorities. Okay, let's highlight that too. And then they would prefer a bachelor's degree with 7 years of experience. So if we have that, we want to include that. Okay, so all this stuff is good stuff here. All right. So now I know exactly what the employer is looking for, and I can adapt my resume accordingly. Okay, so I'm going to adapt my resume to make sure that these keywords and these skills and responsibilities and background are there. Okay, that's going to be really what's going to set your resume apart from other resumes. So that's the next step. So let's go back. All right, so the next step, and I love this step because let's see, let's start from the current slide. Okay, so Job Hero is my #1 great resource for filling out figuring out what language to use to best describe your experience. So let's go here to Job Hero. Okay, I'm gonna look in the resume section. I'm gonna search by executive assistant. Let's see. That is not the one I wanted. Let me go back. Executive assistant. My video picture is marking over where I'm trying to type. So let's see. Executive. All right, still not showing up. There we go. Let's say executive administrative assistant. Okay. All right, so let's take a look at what's on the screen for this. All right, so problem solver deleted 1,500 computer profiles on community computers, increased computer speed, saved Air Force $21,000. Okay, that's a great example of an accomplishment. And that's the kind of thing I want you to think about. So you may not have done that specific thing, but think about what kind of accomplishments you've done where you've earned your company money, you've saved your company money, you've saved the company time or resources. These are great kind of accomplishments to include. So I want you to keep that in mind as we're going. Okay, so this person has even more streamlining things. So let's see what else here. All right, so we talked a little bit about needing to schedule meetings. Here, they maintained electronic calendars for both managers, meetings, lunches, offsites. Okay, so that's a way that they demonstrate they have that skill. Or coordinated and scheduled meetings with internal executives, external clients, and or members of whatever. I don't know what that is, but okay. So what I want you to do here is to go through all the information here in the position and copy and paste the things that you've done that match the keywords that you are looking for, okay? So this is gonna say it in a much prettier way than probably you or I could. So let's not recreate the wheel. Let's just take what we can and use that in our resume. So this is my secret trick that I use, and I want you to use it too because it's much quicker and efficient. So let me go back to the slideshow. All right, so we talked about copying and pasting the relevant material, and then that's gonna go in your resume after you adapt it. So I would just stick it in the document that you created with the keywords, and then you can fix everything in there and make sure those keywords are included. All right, so here is just some basics. 1 to 2 pages. Do not go over 2 pages. Employers are not going to read more than 2 pages. They're going to get annoyed. They only spend like about 8 to 10 seconds scanning it the first time through anyway. So you got to make it simple for them. You got to dumb it down for them so they see immediately that that's what you have what they're looking for. Okay, 1-inch margins. Make sure to leave some white space. You want to use a traditional font that's easy to read, like 11 to 12 point. I mentioned some fonts there that are good. Don't underline or italicize things. We just want to keep it simple for the applicant tracking systems. If you're going to use color, use it sparingly. One color, maybe for headings, is probably sufficient, and it should be, usually a more conservative color. I had a client one time use like a lime green for the actual body, the body font for her resume, and I couldn't read it. I mean, you see here, you don't want to tax people's eyes too much. So keep it simple. For the most part, black is good, but if you want to jazz it up with a color for the headlines, go right ahead. All right, don't make a big block of text. Okay, that's really hard to read, and employers just want to scan. And if you make bullet points or simplify it in some way that's going to make it a lot easier for them to scan your resume for content. So use your bullet points. Your bullet points are your friends. And then I can't say this enough. You've got to proofread it. You got to proofread it. You have to have your friend and your husband or wife proofread it, and the people at Dorcas proofread it. And when you make changes, you need to proofread it again. Don't count on spell check. Spell check can miss all kinds of things. So don't rely on spell check. Make sure you have another set of eyes look at it. And if you want me to look at it, you're welcome to send it to me via email, and I can look it over for you too. All right, so we have this handy dandy resume sample on our website at Dorcas Ministries. Okay, you can see the URL down here. Let me go back. Let's see if I click on this, if it'll take us to the Training Center website. Okay, so here is our Job Training Center website. Not the website, the web page. I'm going to scroll all the way down here to our helpful links, and we click on the Dorcas resume sample, and you can save it somewhere on your drive. Okay, let me just, for the sake of this, let's do this in my Dorcas folder. Make sure you save it someplace you can find it. Okay, let's say Dorcas resume sample. Now we're going to open that up. All right, so here we go. I created this sample, and I really like it. It's very simple, but it looks nice and professional. And I really don't think you can go wrong. Most of you cannot go wrong using this. So you can, make your changes. Just highlight here. If I put my name in, let's see if I can type this without goofing things up. I guess I have to enable the editing first. All right, let's say Amanda Chamberlain. Oops. I can never type well when people are watching. All right, so I'm going to change up all my information. You don't need to put a street address there. Nobody's going to be snail mailing you anything, so don't worry about the street address. One phone number, preferably one that your kids aren't going to answer. So I always use my cell phone or mobile number, and then your email here. So, so here I call this summary of qualifications, but you can also use your title. So in the case that we were talking about, I would use maybe something like executive assistant. So I would put that there instead of summary of qualifications. And then I would, here's just a sample. This is not one that's an executive assistant, but it kind of goes over some of the information. So 10 plus years of excellent customer service, yada, yada, yada. Friendly, outgoing, and helpful personality, accuracy and data entry. Okay, I'm not going to read the whole thing to you because that would be boring. But there you go. You want to develop a summary of qualifications that kind of gives a big overview of your career. And a lot of times people will put an objective and say, okay, seeking a position as a executive assistant to advance my career and yada. Okay, no. You want to present what the employer is looking for, not what you're looking for. Not what you're looking for, what they're looking for. So no objective. If you're moving into a field where you don't have a ton of experience, then I want you to say target. I am moving into I have customer service experience. Now I want to move into executive assistants. And here are the things that I've done that are transferable skills. And if you're doing something like that, you may need a little extra assistance. So don't hesitate to reach out if you need a little extra assistance for that. Okay, so that's our summary. Scroll down. This is our experience section. Okay, we're going to include employer, city, state, title, and then our descriptions and the dates. And I don't include months unless there's some specific reason. So if you need to cover up a job gap or anything, years are better, and it doesn't show as much jumping around job-wise. So I'm not going to go over everything that you need to know here about this, but this is the basic. This is what gets you, I want you to get started on this and then bring your questions to Dorcas or some other resume help wherever you go, okay? Next section, that's pretty much in everything is education section, and you can put your high school diploma, you can put a college degree. If you have just college education but you don't have a degree, include that too. Any kind of training, certifications, courses, whatever you've done that supports the job that you're seeking, put that in there. Okay, and for some of you, you may have other categories like community service or languages. If you're bilingual, you may want to have a place for languages or community involvement, leadership, lots of different things. But make sure they're relevant. Make sure they're relevant to what you're looking for. Otherwise, it doesn't really matter. It's just filler. So we need to save your space for what's really important. Okay, so that's our template. And unless you're in love with your template, I highly suggest using this. It's not that hard for you to copy and paste your existing material into here. And if there are formatting issues, that I can help with, or the other volunteers too. Okay, so I'm going to close this. No, I don't want to save. All right. Okay, let's go back to our... Oh no, I lost my PowerPoint. Is that it? Okay, no, I didn't lose it. All right. Okay, so here's some skills that employers are looking for. I just include these for your knowledge. Problem solving, good learner, analytical, oral communication. Of course, anybody can write these things, so it's really good if you can think of an example where you were able to use those skills. So oral communication, if you've done any kind of presentations or facilitated meetings or anything like that, you may want to include that to show how you have the communication skill, not just tell. So these are some things that you might want to bring out in your resume. Personality traits, you can include those too. I don't think that's as important, but I would think about which ones are the most telling about you, the ones that describe you best, that you can emphasize. All right, accomplishments. Just like I was saying before, they're not your job duties, okay? I don't want you to just put answered the phones. Okay, anybody can answer the phone. How did you answer the phone? Did you answer the phone in a professional manner using a, I don't even know, multi-line system? Did you have to schedule things? Like, give a little more meat, give a little more information, okay? How you did it. Did you do it in a way that you had to deal with conflicts and resolve customer issues or something like that? So, you know, look on job here. There are probably lots of good descriptions that you could use there. But you want to be specific, and if you can quantify, and what I mean is put numbers around something, like for me, I taught a group of 30 students in a community college setting and did, you know, certain number of sessions. Quantifying things is really helpful if you can. All right, and that's a way you can do it. You can describe a situation, say what the obstacle was, what your actions were that you took, and what the result was. And if you can do an accomplishment statement like that, that is golden. Employers just eat that stuff up. So if you need help thinking of some of those, we can provide that too. All right, some resume challenges. Gaps. Many of you may have gaps for a variety of different things. I had a gap in my resume because I was a stay-at-home mom for many years. Sometimes we have gaps from unemployment or gaps from illness or something like that. So a couple different ways we can handle gaps. One thing that you can do, and this is something that I used, was I used my volunteer experience to fill in part of the gap. So if you have some volunteer experience, you've worked at the school and the PTA, for example, volunteered there, or something else where you've used skills that are relevant, you can include that. You can, like I said, use the years, don't use the month. The years help stretch out some of the gaps, so use the years if you can. And what else? What else can I say about gaps? So if you have other things that you can put in there, and sometimes you just have to explain. If you had to relocate or there was some other issue, you may want to make a brief note about it, and then you can use your cover letter to explain a little bit more in detail. Okay, if the resume, if you don't have a lot of experience, you're going to have to show other areas maybe where you've used those skills, like I said before, volunteering or during your education. If you have learned things or done internships or other projects during education, you can include that. If the resume is too long, you gotta cut it, okay? I tell everybody, keep the big master resume, and then edit out what you don't need, and then make sure to save the new version, right? Save the new version, name it something that you'll remember, or put in like the position that you're applying for, so you don't get confused about what version is what, or put the date on it. That might be helpful too. Don't go back too many years. Don't go back more than 10 or 15 years. First of all, it's gonna, if you're like older, it's gonna date you. Don't do that. You don't need to give them any extra information about it. Don't date yourself. The employer is generally not gonna care about what you did a long time ago. They wanna know what you're doing now. Now, the only thing that I can think of to tell you is if your great experience that's the best fit, the most relevant stuff is back further, there's a strategy I use that might be helpful to you. I make a heading, instead of just saying experience, I have a section that says relevant experience, and then I'll put the things that are most relevant, and I don't use dates for all that. Or I'll have a section at the end of experience that says previous relevant experience. So then I can list some things that I did in the past and give a little bit of information, not too much, but a little information to show that I've done those things previously. Okay, wide variety of career fields. That's kind of a tricky one too. You want to maybe use your summary to show what is most relevant for the career field you're applying for. And you also might want to have, similar to the one I just said, you might want to have something that says experience, like executive assistant experience. Okay, so put that part first. And then another section that says other experience. So that's one way you can do it. You may need a little extra help to figure out how to do this. And once again, we're available to help with that too. So gonna move along. All right, submitting your resume. This is really important. If you're submitting it online, you, like I said, you want to have those keywords in there and very simple formatting. And submitting it in person has a much greater chance of success because they're putting a name and a face with the resume, and they can see you and see what you're like and form hopefully a good impression of you. So try to make the best impression that you can. But that connects you more with the hiring manager, supervisor, whoever. So if at all possible, try to apply in person if you can. You know, do your online application and submit your resume online maybe, and then also do in person and just, you know, say, I applied online, but I really wanted to meet you so we could communicate and chat, and, you know, I think that always helps. And then if you have somebody that works at the company that you're interested in, ask them, will they be willing to, you know, physically either email to a person that would actually look at the resume, or take it physically to the office that it needs to go to and just say, hey, I know this person, I think they would be a great fit, and they can pass it over. So those are some of my tips for trying to submit the resume, and online is not your best option. There are just too many people that are applying online. It's going to get scanned. So use any other options that you can to make your application more effective. All right, questions. Obviously, this is a recording, so you can't ask me directly. But if you do have questions, feel free to email me. It's Amanda P. Chamberlain, and Chamberlain is CHAMBERLAIN @gmail.com. And come in and see me on Fridays from 10 to 1. I'm happy to help. But if you can't make it in to Dorcas, just shoot me an email. You know, I work during the week, so I'm busy, but as soon as I can, I'll try to get back to you. And if you like to work, if you're comfortable doing a Zoom, which is like a Skype meeting, I'm happy to meet with you that way too. Okay, so get cracking on your resume, and once you've got it as far as you can, bring it in with your questions, bring it in with any kind of formatting issues or anything else you need, and we at Dorcas will be happy to help you get it all figured out. All right, good luck with your job search, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.